Alright, gonna be with you guys here in just a minute. Okay, this is Jacob Melton back with you here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. At 9:26 p.m. on this Wednesday evening, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for southeastern portions of Branch County in our coverage area. And this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 9:45 p.m. this evening. The primary hazard is damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, along with the potential for some smaller size hail. And we also have a tornado possible tag, as there's been some recent signs of rotation evident within the last few scans we've been watching. So I still cannot fully rule out the potential of a brief spin-up tornado. So let's talk about locations in the polygon. The Quincy area, you are in the warning. And while I don't have town names, if you're generally south of the Coldwater area, and if you're like along 127 here, Highway 27, 127, or Highway 27, or Interstate 69, as it's also known by, or Interstate 69, if you're along Interstate 69, if you are in the Montgomery area, I'm going to go ahead and count you as in. Or southwestern Hillsdale County. If you're in southwestern Hillsdale County, you are in the warning as well. Far southwestern sections. And so if you're in this warning polygon, I want you in your sturdy structure, lowest floor, away from windows. Mainly in part due to the damaging winds and also trying to account for the potential of a brief tornado. I am going to take a look at our velocity product, and I'm going to switch it to another view. This is going to be storm relative. And we are looking at a potential broad circulation. I will highlight that here momentarily. That is really where I'm looking. So, just southwest of where I-69 and I-90 meet. That is where we're looking at a broader circulation. I am going to loop it so I can show you that it was more evident in earlier scans. Southwest of the Orland area, Norman, Indiana, it was more evident. And as the warning was issued, it weakened a little bit, but we still some broad signs of rotation evident. Now, even if that's not necessarily tornadic, it can still take your 60 mile an hour wind gusts. I'll go back to reflectivity. It can still take your 60 mile an hour wind gusts and make it closer to 70, 75. Something of that nature. That's another reason I want you inside, sturdy structure, lowest floor, and away from windows. I am going to do a storm track now, and this thing's on the move, moving northeast at up to 70 miles per hour. So this thing's, oops, there we go, and so track it off to the northeast. I might need to zoom out a little bit. Oops, bear with me here while I try and get this. I have to zoom out a little bit due to the speed of this thing. So let me do a storm track now. Northeast at 70 miles per hour. It's going to take into the cold water area around 9:36. The Hillsdale area eventually around 9:50. Jonesville 9:50 as well. The Hudson area around 10 o'clock. Vandercook Lake around 10:07. The Jackson area around 10:09. Michigan Center around 10:10. The Manchester community around 10:19. The Clinton area at around 10:20. And the Chelsea area eventually, assuming it holds together, around 10:24. Now, I will say that this line has been on a general weakening trend over the last hour or two. As if we have lost the daytime heating, we are also losing the, honestly, already meager instability we've already had. What's mainly been driving this line is the very strong wind shear up above us, and especially in the low levels. That's what's been carrying this line for the most part. And any leftover instability that's left has been allowing these stronger wind gusts in the 60 to possibly 70 mile an hour range to reach the surface. I am going to clear this storm track, and I am going to take a look at a few wind reports. We have 40, 46, 52 mile per hour, a 54 mile per hour gust in Berrien County, that is near the Coloma area. And near the Lawton area, we have a non-thunderstorm wind gust of 42 miles per hour. Near the Lawton area in Van Buren County, we have a 48 mile per hour wind gust at Kalamazoo at the airport. At the airport in Kalamazoo, that's near Portage. A 48 mile per hour wind gust, and most recently I have a 42 mile per hour wind gust near Battle Creek at the Battle Creek Executive Airport. So, and we also have a 43 mile per hour gust earlier at the South Haven Regional Airport Automated Station. So, fortunately, most of the wind gusts have been sub-severe so far. At least at the monitoring stations. That does not mean in some area that doesn't have a monitoring station, there's not a 50, 60 mile per hour wind gust. This is just what we've been seeing from our automated monitoring stations around the area, along with a few train spotter report. Excuse me. We're going to take a broader look at the radar real quickly. I'm going to switch to our product. Let's go to our general zoom, and I will show you over the last few hours as it loads in. Our line of thunderstorms continues to track through the area, but has been on a general weakening trend. However, as you can see here with our severe warning in southeastern Branch County and far southwestern Hillsdale County, the threat is not 100% over, and it will not be really for the next couple of hours. Yes, it's on a downward trend, but it's not fully over, mainly in part to the strong winds overhead. It does not take much for an isolated pocket of leftover instability, and it really don't take much instability to take a stronger 50, 60, 65 mile per hour wind gust down to the surface. So we will continue to be here in the Weather Center this evening over the next few hours monitoring this potential. As we remain at a marginal risk for the most part with the SPC update. Give me just a second, I will pull that up as a matter of fact. Day 1 categorical. And this is the evening update. In the dark green, we have our marginal risk that is in effect for most of the area, excluding areas like the Thumb and then our northwestern zones like Hart, Muskegon. That is where the already low end severe threat is already passed. And our level 2 out of 5 slight risk for the border area, that's really about to be done with, as the storms are moving through our far northeastern corner of that right now. Otherwise, we are looking at a marginal low end threat for primarily an isolated 60 mile per hour gust or two that's still possible but we will continue to downtrend that potential over the next few hours as any instability that's left over goes away, which is really not that much in the first place, but with the strong winds overhead, it don't really take much to bring the stronger 50, 60 mile an hour or even potentially up to 70 mile an hour gusts down to the surface. So again, we will continue to monitor things here. Going to take one more look for any potential location before we go here. I really don't see anything obvious, which is good news. Let me put the timestamp back on. Nothing super obvious. Let me switch over to the other view. Yeah, if anything, very broad rotation. Nothing to really suggest tornadic potential at this time. And I do think the tornado potential, which has really been low end in the first place over here, will probably be done with over the next hour or two at the latest. We'll just be monitoring for the leftover isolated 50, 60 mile an hour wind gusts as this line continues to weaken with its east and northeasterly trajectory through the area. So at this time, since we don't really have any new information to pass on at this point, I am going to let you go from this live stream. We are still here. I am still here, I should say, in the Weather Center monitoring things over the next few hours. And I will be back with you live here if any new warnings are issued or we have anything important to pass along. And we will also continue updates on our social media platforms through the evening hours. This is Jacob Melton here in the Southern Michigan Weather Center. Stay tuned to Southern Michigan Weather. We will keep you advised.